Let me show you how I took this dining room to this one and then to this one. This whole dining room remodel started from me taking out this wall when I remodeled my kitchen and lowered my bar. I started with all of the trim. The window was first. I had a big piece of wainscoting outside, so I just cut 3 strips and then cut them down to size. And I will be putting them on the window like this and gluing them down and probably shooting a few nails in. So that way this is flat and it's not textured. See how that's textured? All my walls are textured. So I'm trying to get rid of that texture. Okay, I got the wainscoting up on there. I did decide to go ahead and reuse this ledge that was on there, and I just cut the end off of it so that way it'll sit in here flat. I might have to trim it off a little bit since I put that wainscoting in there, but I needed it to be thicker. I framed out the windows using 1x3 primed pine first. And then around the outside of the 1x3s, I used 1x2s. Okay, I'm going to wood fill all the holes real quick, and then I need to get started on this drywall. Take it from me, don't wear sandals when you're breaking drywall. This really hurt. It fell right on my foot. So when I flipped it over, it automatically broke from the score. And now I've got a bruise on my foot already. That's terrible, right? Okay, I cut the holes for the outlets. Okay. Not gonna lie, it's a little janky, but I got it in, especially right here. But I'm putting beadboard up, and if I ever decided to take the beadboard down, I can always patch this and texture it like the rest of our drywall is. But for now, it's staying like this, and I'm putting beadboard over it. All right, this is as far as I've gotten today. I still have to go right here, and it'll come up to about here. And I did right there. Still got to go the rest of the wall and around the window and all the way to right here. Do your door trim or casing have to match your window casing? Or can it just be similar but not exactly matching? Because I don't know if I want it to be matching. So this was the very first time I had ever taken off a door trim, and I was really nervous. But it ended up being not that bad. So since I've never taken trim off before, I didn't know what I was going to find, and that's interesting. They literally used baseboards as shims. I guess you use what you got, right? Then I cut the new trim down to size and started installing it. I used 1x3 primed pine for the sides, and then 1x4 for the top, surrounded by 1x2s. And this is how it turned out. Okay, I've got to cut this out of this piece of beadboard. I put it backwards, and you put toothpaste or paint or whatever you can put on the back, and you'll push it up, put this piece in place, push it up against it, and it will leave a mark where you need to cut out. I've got all of this done. Now for the hardest part, which is this little section right here. Lots of cuts. Wish me luck. I made all the cuts that I needed, and it fit perfectly. I was so excited. I know I always make people nervous with this, but I'm a really clean painter, and I paint on my countertops. I usually get a lot of hate for it, but it's fine. I was painting my baseboards before I installed them. I have them set up on solo cups because we have a ton of solo cups laying around. And then I install them, and then I go and touch up. Now this is the way I learned to caulk places like this. You put tape on the floor and on the baseboard, and you'll get a really clean, small line. You want to take the tape off before that caulk is all the way dry, or it could peel a lot of the caulk off with it. This is definitely the most satisfying part. And look how clean that line is. Especially to the other side that I haven't done yet. Now next up, I wanted some Roman shades in my dining room, but I didn't want to pay the hefty price for them, so I decided to make my own out of the old blinds. I snapped off 4 blinds and then would leave one, snap off 4 blinds, and would leave another one. And I went all the way up like that. Then I got some beige burlap thick material, so that way these would be blackout. I put it on the blinds with hem tape. Then once all that was put together, I attached the prettier fabric. And once it was hung up, it was absolutely beautiful. Next up, I'm using roll-on texture to stencil on texture to the wall above the beadboard. I've seen it done before and it was gorgeous. This was very easy to do, but it was also very time consuming. These are supposed to be removable if you don't paint them. You just spritz them with water, let it sit, and take it off. I just decided to leave these the off-white color that the texture naturally dried as. I just really love how subtle this texture is, and funny part, a pot leaf came in the stencil pack I ordered, so I might have hid one in there like Where's Waldo? Then I got to work building my own table. It seemed like a fun thing to do. There was a whole lot of sawdust involved with this project. And this is the tabletop, but it's not quite finished yet. This table was basically all built from framing lumber. It was plans that I got from Shanty to Chic. They are amazing, and this table was gorgeous once it was done. Also, a whole lot of sanding and a whole lot of brad nails. And here are the legs once those were done. I love them. Now we just got to put them together. And it worked out great. Now here's where I decided to plane the top of it, and then I routed the edges, and it made it look completely different. It's no longer farmhouse like it was, or as farmhouse as it was, I think. The stain color I used on this one, I believe it was Early American topped with weathered oak. It's a really pretty color combination. I didn't mix them, I just layered them. My daughter helped me put this together because I needed more than one hand, and this tabletop was so heavy. But look how gorgeous it turned out. And then after a year, I decided to build another table. I ended up selling the old one to a flight attendant friend. For those of you who don't know, I am a flight attendant full-time, and I do this on the side. I built the legs like this because we kept on hitting our knees on the other legs since they were on the corners of the table. And these legs will be way more towards the center, if that makes any sense. And of course, I had to route this one too. Routing really just adds a finishing, more professional touch to anything that you build. And once again, this is where we were when we first moved in, and this is where we are now. It's one of my favorite rooms. It feels so nice and cozy in here. Now follow me to see part 3 of my home tour.